Hi, this is Cassie, and I am here with my product showcase of the week. It's Tuesday night at 8:30, and tonight I'm going to be talking about gessos, different kinds of gessos, or colors, I guess, and different kinds of gels and pastes, and how we can use them together and separate, and the different properties that they have, and in different ways that I use them. So I hope that you'll join me and maybe start crafting with me. Get out your pastes and gessos and gels and just have fun and play. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around so that we can see what we're doing. Okay, so there are my samples for the night. So really, this is mostly going to be about, sorry, it's going to be shaky for 1 second because I forgot. I want to lower this just a little bit. I don't have my other device here to for me to be able to look at the screen. So I'm going to try to watch for comments here. Let me see if I can. Let's see. 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, that's okay. I might not be able to see comments tonight. Okay, so sorry about that. And I have a weird lighting situation. Is this helping? No, it's not. Okay, that's okay. I'm working on my lighting. I am trying different things, trying to find something that works, but it feels like we have a really hard shadow tonight that we don't normally have. So let's see. Let me bring it back up a little bit. So sorry for this. Just close your eyes for a second so you can't see it. It's still there, but all right. Well, you've got more space to see now. Sorry, sometimes you can't see these things until you're actually doing it live. Can you hear my kitty? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Sorry, that was Siri. She's trying to help. Okay, so we're just going to leave it the way it is and love it that way. And I'm going to get the cat out of the room. One moment. Sorry, I should have prepared that ahead of time. I wasn't thinking about the cat coming in here. Okay, so we're just going to deal with the shadow, and I'm sorry about this shadow, and I will fix it for next week because it's going to bug me now. So definitely will work that out. Okay, let me move this over just a little bit more. Okay, I think we're good. This is as good as we're going to get. So let's move on. Sorry here. So the first thing before we go into tonight's product, look at how inky my hands are. It's wonderful. I made a new friend, someone I've been following and sort of, well, we'll just say stalking on social media for a long time. I love her art, and I love her soul. She's just a beautiful human, and she makes beautiful art, and I've always really admired her. And I got to meet her at Creativation this year and take a quick little like project with her, make a project and take a class with her. And so, and I was commenting on some videos that she for different techniques and projects that she's made, and we've sort of been talking off and on, and so she sent me a little present, and I'm so excited. Her name is Kat Kerr. Let me get her business card out so you can just see her name. You've probably heard of her. She's been in Somerset Studio magazine, and she teaches all over the place, and she's just amazing. She made me this beautiful tag. It says, "To Cassie, love Kat," and it's got this nice this bird and this cool background here. And then this is her business card. So she's just at Kat Kerr, CATKERR.com, and she does all kinds of great stuff. She works a lot with gel press and resin and different things. So these are the really quick, sorry, these are the earrings that she made that I was like had googly eyes over. They're so cool. Okay, let me see how close I can get. There's even little like beads in the end of them, and she just made resin paper and put the wire in there and put the resin over the top and let it dry and cut it out. I mean, it's so simple, but they're so awesome. I'm totally gonna wear these, and I really love them. So thank you so much, Kat. This is so sweet. And then she sent me another surprise, and this is so amazing. It says, "Be brave, live out loud." Totally love this. This is like exactly what I needed right now. And there's so much detail. I love the everything on there. And oh, and look, she signed it too. So I'm super appreciative of this, and just really grateful for, you know, for Kat specifically, but also just for our creative community in general. I feel just such a sense of community and support and love and caring from everybody, you know, and we all help each other. And I think that that's probably my favorite thing about all of this, is that we're not afraid to help, and we're there to cheer each other on when we have successes, and help pick each other up when we have failures. And I just think it's really fantastic. So thank you for whoever's going to watch this, and thank you for your support, and for watching this, and for caring what I have to say, and for, you know, the times when you leave comments, or just viewing it, or taking time out of your day to spend it with me here. I mean, it's super grateful and thankful from the bottom of my heart. So, okay, so we can move on to this. But again, thank you, Kat, and thanks to everybody for just being really great. So I'm very grateful. Okay, so tonight, these are just samples I made, and really, you know, I kind of finished this one, but these are just mostly techniques, and just to show you the differences between the different things that we're going to look at. So I will bring these back out to reference as we go through this, but I really wanted to walk through from the start. And so we're going to make 3 tags here, and I've got some tissues to do some collaging and fun layering stuff later. But so we're going to just start with 3 tags, and it doesn't really matter if that's got a little stuff on it. And over the course of these 3 tags, we are going to talk about, let's do the gesso first. We're going to talk about white gesso, and I've tried to have include different companies that I use that make these different products, just so that you can see what I use, and sort of get an idea. And really, all of these work beautifully. You know, Deco Art Media, so they have gesso. They have all the things that we're talking about tonight. You know, I just happened to pick the white gesso for this project from them. Then we have from Finavere Prima, we have heavy black gesso. Gesso can come in regular thickness or heavy, right? So that one happens to be heavy. Excuse me. And then also from Finavere, this is the only clear gesso I have, but other people make it too. Dina Wakely's got some, you know, Golden and Liquitex, you know, everybody's got all of these gessos. So this is the clear gesso we're using tonight. So we've got those 3 gessos. Okay. And then on the medium side, or on the paste and gel side, we've got light modeling paste from Golden. Okay. And we've got gloss super heavy gel from Liquitex. Now again, with these, like, this is light and this is heavy, right? Totally opposites, but really, so pastes and gels can come in gloss or matte, right? Or even, I think, semi-gloss I've seen. And they can be heavy, super heavy, light, medium, you know, regular, whatever. There's different thicknesses to them. So it all depends on what you're doing and what you want. And so there's a lot of variety, but at the core, at the root of it, the things that we're going to explore tonight are the same between them all. Okay. And then we're also going to look at matte medium. This is a lot looser than paste and gels, and it works a little bit differently. I use it a lot as an adhesive. You can use it kind of like a decoupage glue if you wanted, but it does have a lot of uses, and so I just thought I would include it in tonight's review as well. So the first thing we're going to do, just to get started, I am going to get actually something to put under this so we don't get that pretty mat all dirty. Okay, let me get a clean one. I have these scrap papers that are really big that I use, and I just keep reusing them over and over until they're just not usable anymore. Okay, so first we're gonna start with the white. Everybody, most people, I should say at least, have used white gesso. And again, this is from Deco media or deco art media. So the other thing I forgot to mention is there's lots of ways to apply all of these things, right? So we can use paintbrush, we can use a silicone brush. So this is just like a rubber kind of thing. There's different kinds and different you know, edges to them. You can use a palette knife, and there's different kinds of palette knives. There's metal and plastic and different lengths and shapes and all sorts of different ways. There's your finger. You can use your finger. You could use a credit card to swipe it across. I mean, really, honestly, however you want to get that on here is totally up to you, and you can use any of these supplies that you want. So I'm going to try to use a different supply for each one just to show you kind of how they work differently, and that will help you make decisions when you are doing these for yourself to decide, what do I want it to look like, and then based on that, what supply am I going to use? Am I going to use my finger or a paintbrush or silicone palette knife kind of thing, or what? So, so you can see here, you can get thick or thin coverage depending on how hard you press, right? You're going to get some lines, and it's going to be relatively even, but with some sort of strokes in it, okay? But not brush strokes. They're a little bit different. So there it is. All right, and we're going to let it dry. Okay. And I'm going to real quick, I know I'm just going to wipe this up so that I can do the black over it here. Okay, so then we'll do black on this one. Put the white gesso away. Okay, I can see my space is going to get full really quickly. So now again, we've got the heavy black gesso from Prima Finivere and some chunks. That's fun. Okay. For this one, I'm going to use the thicker, this is a 2-inch wide silicone knife, and this actually is from Prima, from Finivere as well. She's got a thinner one too. I think there's like a 1-inch also, but this is the 2-inch, and this is the only one I have. So this one, you know, is going to give you broader coverage, right? And it's a little bit different than that Catalyst one. It doesn't pick up as much of the paint, so you're going to get slightly more even strokes, and because it's wider, you know, you could potentially have less of the lines, and you have good broad coverage there. Okay, so there's that one. And then the clear gesso we're actually going to apply later because of the way that it works and the way that I want to use it tonight. It's going to be used later. So the next step we're going to do, first I'm going to put these guys aside. Here we go. They'll live there. And then we are going to flip this over to get rid of that black. Here we go. Okay. And then on this one, so this is going to end up being this collaged piece, okay? And so for this one, I don't want to start with clear gesso. Clear gesso really just protects the surface underneath and maintains whatever was here. And I don't really care about this manila tag all on its own, right? I want to get some stuff on it first. So first we're going to take some, this is just some fun pattern paper that I got from, oh, this is from Jane Davenport. Yeah, this is from her line. So I'm just going to rip a piece off with some fun pattern in it. Okay, and I'm gonna just cut it down a little bit so I get, there we go. Okay, and then I think I want to have maybe some of this. So I'm just creating a fun sort of, let's see, where do I want this? A little bit smaller here, that's good. Yeah, so I'm just creating a fun sort of layout here, not much of a plan of how it's going to go together, just playing around. Okay, and maybe that's going to go here. So I'm going to start sticking these down, and so this is when I'm going to bring out the matte medium, and this is great, like I said, to use as a decoupage glue, or you can use it to cover a surface to protect it. There are a lot of different uses for it. So we are going to use, oh, I hope it's okay. Nope, we're not going to use that one. We're going to use this guy. I tend, when I'm using stuff like this with a brush, I tend to want to use a brush I don't really care about, because there's a good chance it's going to be kind of stiff after. Even if you wash it really well, it's really hard to get all of this adhesive out of here. Okay, so let me move these things off, and we're gonna cover this tag with the matte medium. Okay, so just think of this like a glue in this scenario, in this instance. And we're gonna cover the surface. Okay. All right. I'm going to cover the whole surface because I know that I'm going to end up covering most of this anyway. And even if I don't, it's okay. You know, we're going to put other stuff on top of it and it's no big deal. So there we have that. We'll keep that matte medium out because we're going to keep using it. I love this paper. This is, like I said, from Jane Davenport, and she just has the best colors and patterns. I love this paper. This is from her first line, that very first like 8.5 by 11 pad of paper that she came out with. Super fun. Okay, so then you can also use your finger. You know, oftentimes I'll just dip my finger in here. Sometimes it's easier with these little strips to get that going. And this one can just sit right on top. I don't care. And my fingers are dirty, so we're gonna get some teal on here, and that's okay because this is just for fun and play. This, one of the things I do love about doing collage-y type things, especially on a tag even, is because it does, you know, I don't care. If it gets some teal or something, some color or something on it that I wasn't expecting, well, that's okay. It's just, we're just having fun. We're playing with shape and form and playing with our products and seeing what we like and don't like and what works and doesn't work and all that good stuff, right? So it doesn't really matter. I'm putting a little bit over the top too, just to make sure it's going to stay down and do what I want. Okay, so then next I want to add a little bit of, did I keep some out? What did I do here? I want to add some tissue. I didn't keep much tissue out. We'll put this guy somewhere. Where can that go? Maybe I want it upside down. Do I want upside down hearts? No, not really. Let's see. We're gonna, so tissue paper, this is from Dina, but you can get regular tissue paper that's like has nothing on it and print your own, stamp your own things, right? And stamp them on there in whatever color you want even, and then stick it down, you know, and make your own sort of pattern tissue paper. That's basically what they did here. They just printed on it, and then you tear it out, cut it out, whatever you want to do. So here, real quick, I'll just show you this. I have this basket of just tissues and napkins and just all sorts of stuff that I've collected. And this is what I use when I'm, ooh, we lifted it. This is what I use when I'm art journaling and doing different collage type stuff. I just go to my basket here and pick something out that I want to use and then take it. I really like those people we had on the other one. So I'm going to get this out and use those people. Okay, and let's see. We've got some circles, so I'm going to do circles too, and I think that'll be good. I don't want too many different patterns, right? But the circles are kind of down here, and yeah, I like that. So let's see. I'm going to put the people over there. So I just kind of eyeball it and see how big it needs to be, and just tear it off. I like tearing better than is that too much or enough? I don't know. It's a lot, but I like it. I think I'm just going to go with it. Sometimes you can overthink things too, right? And that's not the point of this. This is definitely not the time to be overthinking and worrying about this or that. Just have fun with it. Okay, and matte medium works really, and the really other awesome thing about tissue paper is that you're going to be able to see some of the stuff underneath it, right? Because it's fairly translucent. So one thing you do want to be careful, you can see it's sort of puckering up and whatever. It will tear once it gets wet. It tears easily, so you just want to be careful. I mean, maybe you don't care and the tear looks pretty cool too, but just depends on, you know, the look you're going for, what you're doing. So just be aware of that at least, right? If you want it to tear, great. then you'll know how to do it. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. I can see some of the colors underneath the tear and that other piece, but really the prominent figure there are the people, which is great. That is what I wanted. All right, so we're not going to spend too much more time here. I do think, where's this going to go? I think I just want some of these little bubbles, like maybe this corner. Okay, I just want a few little bubbles. And that's even too many. Okay, so it's, and don't ever, well, okay, you do what you want, but I don't ever throw my scraps away. Like here I'm tearing down. You know, I don't throw away, you know, this piece that I'm not going to use. No. I'm going to use it another time. Am I really going down to this? I think I am. Yeah, I like that. And maybe I just wanted a couple little ones. What do I want? I don't know. Yeah, I said I'm not going to overthink it, right? So that's what we're doing. We're just going to put it there and be good. Okay. And here I'm just using my finger. At this point, this is really the best tool. It's going to be, yeah, there. That's what I want. Okay. So we're just helping that pattern go through the whole thing here. Not overthinking it too much. Trying not to anyway. It's hard to get out of your own head sometimes. There we go. And I like just a couple little hearts right there. That looks really cool. I like this. We're going to add the words at the end. Okay, so for now, this is good. Really quick, I'm going to let me put this matte medium away. And then I'm going to quick zap this, and I'm going to add the next thing to this, and then we'll add it to the other tags that we've started as well, and talk about the next medium. So if you're watching, I'm really sorry I'm not seeing the comments. All I have is my phone this evening. And so if there are any comments or questions, I will be happy to see them after. Let's see, will they come up now? Okay, yeah. If anybody has any questions or comments at any point, even if you're watching this later on, just ask me and I will try to keep track of it and answer them later. Okay, so pretty cool. I'm loving this. All right, so we're going to be working with 2 stencils tonight. They're both from Diane Reevely from the Dimension line from Ranger, and they're just little, what size are these even? Like 4x6 or something? Mini stencils. Yeah, they're just mini stencils. Here we go. So so I've got flowers and hexagons. Okay, so we're going to be using these a fair amount through the night, just so I can show you kind of how to use things. All right, so we're going to use the flower stencil on here, and we are going to use, we're going to start with the modeling paste. Okay, so you can use light, regular, heavy, doesn't matter. I like light because like it's super light. I mean, even the paste and the weight of it, everything about it is very light and airy. It almost feels like it's whipped or something. It's quite wonderful. When I discovered it, I decided that this was my modeling paste to move forward. So okay, so I'm gonna put this in a couple different places. All right, actually what I'm gonna note, because I want those sideways. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna use this palette knife. This is a plastic one. Again, like I said, there's lots of different tools you can use. There's plastic and there's metal. Everyone has their own preference. I prefer metal because I feel like it's a little sturdier and I have a little bit more control. But again, tonight I'm going to show you all different ways and all different tools so that you can see what's available, and then you can try them yourself and make your own decisions about what you like and don't like. Okay, so we're just going to do some modeling paste. Okay, and I'm not going to cover everywhere. I'm just doing a little bit here and there. So I'm going to do some fun, oh, those are really cute flowers there. And then I'm going to do a couple up here, and I think we'll be good. Okay. Okay. You don't even need a lot. I just want to make sure it's covered. There we go. Nice. Okay. The other thing, other than it being light and sort of airy and whipped feeling, it really dries quickly because it's so light, you know. So that's another bonus of using the light modeling paste. Another thing I'm going to do that I'm not doing on the others, I just want to show you, you don't always have to go through a stencil, right? If I just want a little bit of paste right here, okay, and I just want it to be like scrapey and sort of random and whatever, then just do it. Just do it. Who cares? You don't have to have it through a pretty stencil and have it be perfect and whatever. Okay, you just want to swipe it and have a little bit of like messy scrapey, you know, that's gonna take some pigment later on. It's gonna look amazing. Or, you know, you're gonna leave it white, it's also gonna look, it's still gonna look amazing. Okay, I'm gonna leave that stencil and this out because we're gonna use it in a minute. So I'm gonna set this aside to dry now, but you notice that we haven't put any gesso on this yet. Okay, so far we've just used matte medium as an adhesive, and we've used the modeling paste through a stencil and swiped it on as our paste. Okay, and so we're going to set it aside and move on and let it dry, and then we'll come back in a little bit. Okay, all right, the next thing we're going to do after I get a drink of tea, okay, my room, my art studio is very cold. So these aren't dry yet, but I'm telling you the truth. Gesso generally dries very quickly. These should have been dry by now. I'm just going to help them along because it is really cold in my room here. I'm downstairs and I don't know, for some reason I just don't get good heat in this room all the time. So, but generally, excuse me, gesso does dry pretty quickly, quicker than acrylic, I have experienced. So, okay, why do we use gesso? If you don't know or haven't used it, or use it but don't know why you use it, gesso is basically a primer. It helps to bring your surface to ground zero, is what I like to say, because it makes it possible for you to put whatever pigment or whatever paint or whatever you're using on top of it, and that pigment is going to behave the way that it does on every other surface because they're gessoed. Okay, so gesso is just your primer. It's going to allow you to have known results with whatever medium you're using on top of it. Okay? Because if you, actually, I'm going to do one tag with no gesso on it so you can see the difference when we're putting pigment and other things on it. Then you'll be able to see why we use gesso, and then you can make an informed decision, do I want gesso or not, based on what you want the final product to look like. That's what all of this is about. There's no rules anywhere. It's just, what do I have and how do I use it to make what I want to make, right? That's it. Okay, so I'm done with that. So now I'm going to use the flower stencil first, and I'm going to do the tops of all three of these with the paste, and then I'm going to bring out the gel and do the bottoms with the other stencil. Okay, and then we are going to let them dry, and then we are going to see how they behave with pigment, and that is the super fun part. Okay, so the tops of all of these I'm using for the same stencil. I'm going to use the same medium. So here I'm using paste. The bottom I'll do hexagons with gel, okay, just so we can keep it straight and even, and we know what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to cover this whole tag like you saw on the other tag. I didn't cover everywhere with this stencil because I generally don't. You know, you just usually want it to be in a certain spot or whatever, just to create a sort of texture in an area. But for this test and for this purpose, we want to cover the whole area. Okay, so there's one, and I don't mind the swipe and or the messiness of it. It's, you know, this is just for testing purposes and to demonstrate what the different products can do. So okay, so let's talk about paste and gels. Sorry if I'm talking fast. I feel like I have a lot of information and I want to cover it in a short amount of time. So we're using a paste right now, And pastes are opaque, which means you can't see through them, right? So when you're using a paste, just know that when it dries, you won't be able to see through it. It's going to be solid, right? And opaque. And again, you can have matte or glossy or semi-gloss, so you can have different finishes still, but you're not going to be able to see through it. It will always be opaque. Okay? That's a paste. Paste is opaque. Okay. Get this excess off here. One more tag. I didn't do this one before, so we will actually have to let this one dry, but I didn't think about the non-gesso to show you the difference, but this will be really valuable, I think, and will be really helpful for people. Just sometimes you need to see it, you know, have that aha moment, like, oh, I get it. You're telling me my pigment will behave differently, but what does that really mean, right? Okay, I'm gonna show you what it means. Okay, so here we go. I'm trying to do thin layers so that it dries quickly, but also have enough to be meaningful. Okay, so here we go. We're done with the paste. All right, we've covered all 3 surfaces. What else do I want to say about paste? The main thing is that they're opaque and they're going to absorb the color, okay? Okay, let's put that guy up there for a second. Really quick, because I don't want to wreck my stencil. I meant to clean that up, that's okay. I'm going to lay it out on my very dirty art cloth, and this is how I clean, okay, this is how I clean stencils, especially if these are small. I spray it with water right after, or I get a baby wipe or something and wipe it, and just smush it around and wipe it. When I'm using pastes and gels, I want to clean it right away because I don't want it to ruin my stencil. If I'm using a pigment, like I'm putting a spray through this, as long as it doesn't have anything chunky or thick that's gonna like get stuck in the cracks, I don't even care. These can be colored, it doesn't matter, you know, and be all sorts of different colors. Just when you're using something thick that could damage it, then you want to make sure to clean it right away. Okay, all right, back to it. So now we've got the white tag, and I've got the hexagon stencil here, and we're going to use the gloss. I'm sorry, the gel. This one happens to be super heavy gloss gel, okay? Like complete opposite from the paste. The paste is light and matte, and this is heavy and glossy, and that's paste and that's gel. Here we go. This is fun. Okay, this time I'm going to use the metal one, okay? Just to show you the difference. Now, this gel is, it's creamy. It's not like super thick. It feels like a loose icing. It's not as thick as icing, okay? Even for this super heavy one. So, and it's still really wonderful to use. It's almost buttery, kind of. It's hard to explain, but that's how this gel is in particular. Okay, so we're gonna put it on the bottom half, cover it. Same as we did for the top. So if you've never used a paste or a gel before through a stencil, you're just getting a palette knife or however you're going to apply it, and you're just kind of spreading it on like icing on a cake, okay? And there's no wrong answers, no wrong way to do it. There we go. That's cool. We're gonna let that dry. Okay, clean up the excess there, get ready for the next guy. It's also fun to do this in this, you know, assembly line kind of way too, because you get more done that way. You have a lot more card bases. Sometimes if I'm not feeling super creative, but I still want to be down here working on something, I'll do this. I'll just come down and make backgrounds. And I don't know what I'm going to use them for, and then I put them in a basket in a pile, and then one day I'm like, I want to make something, but I don't know what background I want. Then I just go pick one. Okay, so there's that on the black. You can really see it there nicely. Okay, looking good. We got one more since we're doing the non-gessoed surface. Okay, so we're going to do one more with the gel, and then we'll clean the stencil and get to the pigment part, which is the super fun part, adding all that beautiful color. Okay, last one. Okay. So here we go. Too much. That's all right. Okay, so now you really don't need a lot, just enough to cover it. Perfect. Okay, so that one's done. So we're going to set that aside to dry and then clean off this mat real quick. Okay, and put the gel away. We are done with the gel. Okay. Okay, trying to clean as we go so that I've got more room here because it's my space is somewhat limited here. Okay, so next, let's see. It's all wet. That's okay. Let's clean my stencil really fast and we'll get on to the pigment. Even though I'm not seeing them now, please write down any questions you have or anything that I'm not covering that you know have been wanting to know about or whatever, and I will I'd be happy to answer it or even do another demo. You know, I can do Instagram demos, I can do other YouTube live demos, whatever, Facebook, anything. So I'm happy to meet you where you are and help you learn how to use your supplies. Okay, excuse me. So I think, let's check and see. Man, it really is cold down here. This should have been dry by now. I wanted to give this a little zap, okay? And I'm actually going to do the same thing to this one. Now I did, last night, I made an extra white and black so that they would be dry by today. Sorry, here they are. So that we don't have to wait for all the tags to dry because that just, you know, that's not fun. And the gel does take a little bit, especially down in this basement. So I'm hopeful that this non-gessoed one will dry fast enough. We'll work with the other ones first and come and do this one last, just to give it some time. At worst, I'll just have to post it on social media so you can see how it turns out, because I didn't think to have a non-gessoed one ready ahead of time. Okay, let's see. All right, we're gonna let this one sit for just a little bit longer. It's really close. I wanted to put the next layer on there, but we're gonna let it sit for just a little bit longer. Next, we'll move on to adding pigment to these. So obviously this is the white gessoed surface. It's got the paste on the top and the gel on the bottom. So let's first compare the difference that we see between these, sorry about this light, man. But you can definitely see the difference. Okay, so let's look at the flowers first. So we see as I'm moving it, there's no reflection, right? So that means it's a matte surface. Okay, and then if you look at the hexagons when I do this, you can definitely see the gloss. Look at all that super shiny gloss. Okay, so that's the first difference we can see. I'm not sure if you're going to pick this up or not. Let's see how we can do this. In general, paste is a little thicker. Can you see that it's got just a little bit more texture? Okay, the paste is matte and it's got a little more texture. The gloss is shiny and smooth and has a different kind of texture. Okay, so that's the first difference. And then on the black, you can definitely see the difference. Sorry, just straightening that out. So obviously the paste here, like I said, is opaque, right? You can't see through it. So you definitely see the flowers, and they stand out and they're nice and bright and white. The gel is transparent, okay? And so you pick up whatever is underneath it. So here we only see the black, but we definitely see the shapes because they're nice and glossy, and they stand out against the matte black gesso. So there we have the main difference. Another difference that is really obvious when you can see it on the black there. That black looks really nice like that. I'm really digging that. Okay, so that's just the paste and the gel on their own. So now let's see what happens when we add some pigment to them. Okay, I want to make sure this shadow in the light is super annoying. Okay, so let's pick colors. We are gonna do let's see. How about, what did I do for my samples? Oh, I did a dark green and the light blue. Those are pretty. Well, let's do different. Let's do something different. Let's do yellow and light green. How about that? That'll be fun. Okay, so today I'm using the Dylusions Shimmer Spray. I don't use these very often because I'm often doing other kinds of projects and I just don't have as many opportunities to use these. But man, these sure are fun. Oh, you know what? Instead of green, I'm sorry, I have to do it. I'm just going to use my Funky Fuchsia because I haven't used it in a while and it would look really pretty with this Pure Sunshine. Sorry. I was trying to do different colors, but I felt it calling me and I just needed to answer. So I'm so super sorry about that. But this is going to be gorgeous. Okay. Oh, come on. You can do it. You did it just a minute ago. There is a way to care for these so they don't clog, and I forget what that is. Okay, we are not going to spray it on. We are going to use, I feel like that's not going to do what I want. We're going to use a brush, and that is okay. I use a brush actually most of the time. I don't spray, I use a brush, because I can be a lot more deliberate about where it goes. Okay, so here I've got my spray and I've got a brush and it's already got the shimmer everywhere because I shook it up really well. Oh my goodness, look at that. Woo! This is exciting. Oh, even on the black. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh, that's gorgeous. It's almost like a goldish yellow. It's called Pure Sunshine. Oh my gosh. She just makes the best colors, I swear. I love her bold, beautiful colors. They're so gorgeous. And this yellow, I mean on the black, oh my goodness. It is like liquid gold. Okay, we're good with this because what I like to do often, and I'm going to now, is spray it. So then it just settles in all the cracks and it doesn't look like it was brushed on. It's got a more organic feel to it. Excuse me. And looks fantastic. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't get over it. Look at on the black. Oh man. That is super duper pretty. Wow. Okay. Very impressed. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with the Funky Fuchsia. I'm going to shake this up a little bit. I think what they told me, if I remember right, you're not supposed to actually shake these like this. You're supposed to like roll them in your hand, but I'm not that patient. So that's my dilemma there. I'm not super patient. Okay. Man, that is super gorgeous. I can't even say. All right, so then I'm going to flip these so I get the other colors next to each other. Let's see if this one will let me spray it or not. Oh yeah, here we go. Ooh! Oh my gosh, sorry. I got really excited. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry, stop. Just stop. Okay, now we're going to spray this too. Get it right to the edge. All right, here we go. We've got a lot of pink. I should have slowed down a little bit. That's okay. Really just want to show you some differences here. So I'm going to dry it a little bit because I need it to be a little bit more dry to show you what I want to show you. So what we're going to be looking for now is how does it look on the paste versus on the gel, right? And how do they behave differently? How are they similar? All that. Okay, so I used Pure Sunshine and Funky Fuchsia in case you want to know. And look at where they blended. They've got that nice red almost. Woo! That's super gorgeous. Okay, so look at already on top. the color soaked in. Can you see? Yeah. The color soaked into the paste, and the shimmer part is like sitting on the black underneath, which is really awesome. Okay. And now if I let this dry all the way, this will keep this this paste on here, or the gel, sorry. But if I want to see the white underneath while it's still wet, okay, I don't want to mess this up, it's so pretty, but I need you to see. Look at, you can wipe it off, okay? Look at the white underneath, okay? You can wipe it off. You can see it a lot better on the white. I'll just leave that one as it is. But you can't wipe it off of the paste because it soaks in. So you see the difference? You can wipe it off here, and then you've got that awesome white underneath, which looks really cool. But here it soaks that color in, so it will lighten it. It lightened it quite a bit, but it won't ever fully resist. It doesn't resist, it soaks in, whereas the gel will resist. You know, like I said, if we leave this here, it will dry on there and it will stay because we dried it right on top. But if you want to take it off, you just get it wet and wipe it and it's gone. So that's another one of the big differences between pastes and gels. Okay, I'm going to leave this one because, sorry, I'm loving these colors here. And this demonstrates what I want to show you anyway. So cool. All right. So very, very cool. Let's see. I think, yeah, see, my paste is dry, but this is white still. That's definitely not dry, but down here it is. Maybe I can let's just try a little bit and see. I'm going to put these guys up top, get them out of the way, and let's see if I just put a little bit of color. Mainly, I just want you to see what happens when you don't use gesso. So, all right, when we use the gesso here, sorry, I got to show you this first. When we use the gesso here, right, this paint is moving around, right? Obviously, it's moving, it's doing its thing, right? Okay, so now let's see what happens when I put this on here, okay? It's still wet, I know. It's okay, it's gonna be all right. Now I'm gonna get it wet here, okay? And it's moving around because there's a lot of pigment on here and it's really wet, okay? Let's dry it a little bit so you can see what I want to show you. That's pretty. That color is crazy good. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so this top part is dry already. First, look at the color saturation difference. Okay, the pigment here soaked in, okay, and here it's sitting on top. So this one's going to be obviously a little bit brighter, and it's got a white base instead of a manila base to work with. That's another thing. But watch this, okay? If I get this wet and move it around, look at all that color moves all over again, right? Moves all over again. Do this, that color is not going anywhere. Okay? It's there. It's soaked into the paper, and that's where it's going to stay forevermore. It's never going to go anywhere. Here, we lifted it. Look at how much lighter it is under the flowers here, because we lifted it because look at, it's still all moving because it's gessoed. So the spray is sitting on top of the paint instead of soaking into the paper. I hope that helps and makes some sense if you weren't quite sure what gesso does. This is the main, and look at how different these look. Totally different, 100%. Now this, yeah, see, it's still wet. So this wouldn't sit on top as well on the gel if these were dry, but these are still a little bit wet. But one thing that you do need to notice, let's see, are these guys dry at the bottom here? Yeah, these are mostly dry. Let me do some yellow just because I don't need to be hoarding the fuchsia there. I'm just using this. Okay, so we're going to cover this area with the yellow. Remember, this is the non-gessoed surface. Okay, and then we're going to give it a spritz. All right, let it move up, do its thing. That's fun. Okay, we're going to dry it real quick. I just want you to see what happens. Different from this on a non-gessoed surface. Okay. So here I'm going to lift the color off the top like we did there. Okay. Oh, it's not nearly as pretty. Why? Look at this one and this one. Okay, let me show you the difference. Okay, so this one is the gesso. You see how it kept the shape of the hexagon in the gel perfectly? Where it's white, it's perfectly gessoed, perfectly shaped. You see what I'm trying to say? On this side, look, no gesso underneath. You can't hardly tell these right here. You can't hardly tell that these are even hexagons, right? Because the paper soaked the pigment underneath the gel. Okay, so that's why it's creeping in, and you can see right there. It's creeping underneath the gel from the paper side. Okay, so that doesn't keep your shapes nicely. Okay, we're still able to wipe it off the top because it's a gel. The top of the gel is going to always perform the way the top of the gel will perform. But underneath, we didn't have the gesso layer to protect and for that paint to sit on top of. So now it's soaking into the paint, going under the gel. So that's the other difference there. Okay, so another reason, if you want this, to use gesso instead. Just 1 second, I have to... okay, all right, sorry about that. Okay, so then the last thing that we're going to look at is this tag, and it's nice and dry now, so we're going to use clear gesso. And so gesso is gesso, right? Black, clear, white, whatever. There's even some different colors of gesso out there. Gesso is gesso. It is it is to prime your surface and make it do what you want it to do. This particular gesso is clear because sometimes you don't want your surface to be white or black or whatever color. You just want to protect what's underneath. I still want to be able to see my people and the flowers and the colors and shapes and everything I've done here, right? But I need it to be protected so that I can put some pigment on top and it's not going to behave like this thing did, right? So we want to make sure it's protected. We're able to put some pigment over it and do some fun things like that, but we still want to see what's underneath. Okay, so that's why we use clear gesso. That's the main reason to use it. So I'm just putting a good thin layer. I need to wipe off here. Okay, we're just going to put a good thin layer of clear gesso. And when I'm using clear gesso, I tend to like it to be slightly thinner just because, you know, for this reason, because I want to get it in the cracks of the paste or whatever I'm using. And there's generally other things going on and a reason why I want to see underneath. So it just works better for me if I have a slightly thinner gesso to work with when it's clear. Okay, so there we're good. Honestly, it's just covering and providing. Now we've got a neutral base to add some pigment on top of. Okay, so I'm just real quick going to dry this, and then I'll add some spray on top and show you that it behaves the same way that this guy does. Okay, and then we'll be done. Wow. I just want to, while this is drying, I want to show you the black one here. Look at that. Look at how cool the shimmer is settling on that black. Man, oh, sorry, I'm out of the Yeah, look at that. Super pretty. I'm loving that. I'm definitely going to make something out of that. Okay, we are almost done. Okay, just let it go for, it's just about dry. So what color am I going to put on here? That is the question. One color I almost never use is this Tangerine Dream. So we're going to use that. We're going to use that and one other color. What is it going to be? Orange and what? What? Maybe fresh lime. How about that? That's a great color. It's another green, but we haven't used it yet. That sounds pretty. Okay, I think we're good. Ooh, it's very warm, so I'm going to let it just chill for a second. Flip us over here. We get a fresh surface to work on. I got a little bit of red on there, but I really don't care. Look at my hands. Beautiful. Okay, so my main color I want to use is the Tangerine Dream. So I'm going to give it a shake. Hopefully not too much. Oh wait, let's add some words to this. Sorry, real quick. I just want to add some words and get my medium out. Okay, I'm going to clean one finger that I'm going to use to put the matte medium on. That's my favorite tool here. Okay, so let's see. You are beautiful, you are loved, you are beloved, you are vast, you are infinite. Wow, that's nice. Okay. Be present, be you, be strong, be enough, be devoted. I like these. Okay, let's use these because these are nice bold prints and we've got a lot going on in this background. So I want something that's going to stand out pretty well. Excuse me. Okay, be present. I like that. That is definitely a good one. That's going to go right there. And be you. I also like that quite a bit. Be present, be you. What if we mix it up and do be present, be you, you are beautiful? What if we do that? That sounds lovely. And I'm cutting it all the way down so that we don't have excess here. Okay, you are, let's break this up a little bit. Okay. I love printing on tissue. I like making my own also with different sayings on them. Okay, let's do this. Be you, be present. Do I want it there? I am going to think about this for just a moment. You are beautiful. I like that down there. That's what I want. Okay. So now I'm just going to get my finger. Excuse me. Goodness. And put some matte medium on here. And it's definitely going to be dirty, and that's okay. Because my fingers are far from clean. Okay, you just need a thin little bit. You are beautiful. Okay, whoops, I really messed that up. Hold on. You got to be careful. This tissue paper is very delicate, as you see there. But if you smush it in too, I'm still going to get to see those flowers underneath. Just smush it in and be very careful. Okay. I think we're good there. Okay, you are beautiful. Lovely. Be present. I like it. Be present. And I don't care if it's straight or not. I just want it to be on there deliberately. Right? You know what I mean? Okay, come on, Cassie. I liked where it was. Apparently it wasn't supposed to be there. Okay. Put you right here. There we go. So just really also one good thing about about these guys is get it stuck where you want it, and then you can always even come back later and squish it in a little bit more once that glue has had a minute to just kind of just not really dry, but just get a little bit more tacky, because it's still pretty slippery right away. There, that's pretty. I love that. Just the way it is. Be you, be present. You are beautiful. Perfect. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back and check it. Squishy enough. There we go. See, now I can see that flower petal underneath. Petals underneath. Okay. Nice. These are so fun. If you are not making... Oh, I didn't wait long enough for that guy. If you are not making these fun tags with me right now, you really should be. Okay? You really, really should be doing this, because this is like super duper fun. Okay. I'm going to dry it up real quick. That matte medium is... There's such a thin layer, and it's thin to begin with. It really doesn't take much to dry it up. So we should be good here. Be you, be present. You are beautiful. Love it. So while this is drying, I can show you my other one. The other one I did green and yellow, which I never use those colors, so that's what I'm trying to do, other things. And this says, break the rules, don't be tamed. So that's pretty fun. But I'm really loving this one. This is a good one. Okay. Okay, I'm happy. It's dry. Checking it. We're good to go. All right, so here we go. We've got Tangerine Dream. That's going to be first. Okay, come on. I might have to do this with the paintbrush too. We will see. Okay, here we go. Let's first try to spray. So where do I want this? I'm doing green with it. So I'm going to go down here. Oh, come on. You can do it. I have faith. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can do it upright. It's just not happening. It's because that mica gets in there and clogs that sucker right up. You can clean them out, definitely. I'm not that motivated. Whew, that's a bright color. Wow. Okay. Let's get a little brush here. Am I in screen? Okay, yes I am. Here we go. We got a brush, so I'm just going to put it wherever. Okay, and remember, I'm going to get it wet too, so it's totally fine. We're going to go like this. Okay, and I'm not worried about it going over my words right now. Okay, because I can always wipe it away from there. And this is going to move all over the place anyway. Look at that. Woohoo! That's pretty. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for just a second and dry a couple of my brushes so that I have something to use. My what is that? My paint palette thing, or my bucket is full, I mean. So let's clean these. We're almost done. I'm just going to put a couple colors on here and show you. Now you can see already that the clear gesso is doing its job, right? It's sitting on top. It's not soaking in to all of those different surfaces underneath. But we can still see all those beautiful things underneath because it is clear. Clear gesso is, I probably, well, I do use white quite a bit also to prime my surface, especially if I'm working on a different colored surface and I want it all to be white to start with. But I would say I use clear gesso probably just as much, you know, especially when I'm working on an art journal page or something like that, or, you know, a tag like this that has a lot going on and I just want to add a little bit of color over the top of it. So I would say for sure to have those two in your stock. But honestly, black too is pretty amazing. I use black quite a bit. I mean, look at how much it made this color stand out. That's just with a black base. It's gorgeous. So, not to be underrated or underestimated. Okay, this is really pretty. I want a little bit more at the top there. This is gorgeous. And I don't want it to be right there. Not too much anyway. Okay. I don't mind a little bit around the words, but I don't want it covering the words. So I'm going to dry this. And remember, these flowers are paste, so they're soaking in that orange instead of repelling it, or resisting it, I should say. Excuse me, dry mouth, dry throat. While this is drying, I have some other types of paste. So the Crafters Workshop, I have a few different pastes of theirs from, we got a like a goodie bag sort of from Creativation, and there, some of these were in there. And so, like I was saying, modeling paste and gel can also be colored just like Gessos, and you can have different finishes and surfaces. So this one is called White Pearl, but it's a modeling paste. So it would dry opaque like this does. It have a pearl sheen to it, and it's white. Okay, and then we also have Grecian Gold here, and that's a nice gold, but it's also a paste, so you know that it's going to be opaque, right? So Imagine has a creative medium. Now this is called creative medium, but it is a gel. So this is going to dry clear. This one has shimmer in it, so it's going to have like sparkly, it's going to be sparkly and clear. And they also have one that's just clear. Okay, so this is dry. We're going to do the next color over it. I didn't really want these to mix too much, although they will, because Dylusion's spray line is reactive with water. So even once it's dried on here, if I spray this again, it's going to move around. So, but I wanted it to be mostly dry before we add this green. Okay. And I just want, ooh, oh my gosh. Okay. That's pretty cool. Very fun. This is super bright. Okay. So, yep, that's what I don't want. Orange and green. Okay. All right. Orange and green do make mud, so I'm just trying to minimize that a little bit. And I don't want a ton of green. I just want it to be present. Just to kind of be there, but not really, okay? And I kind of like that little bit of white space. Okay. So there we go. We are done. The one thing I want to show you about, since we do have gesso on here, if I get this orange wet, right, that pigment you see, excuse me, is moving around again. Okay, it didn't soak into the paper or into the surface underneath because there's gesso on here. So you could keep moving it around and playing and getting different things going on. Okay, so that is the main thing I wanted to show you about the clear gesso. It works just like white and black, but it's clear, so you can see what's underneath. Okay, so here's our 3 pieces. Let me find the other one. Oh, we have 4 actually, because we did the extra one. Okay, so we've got clear gesso, black gesso, white gesso, and no gesso. And there we go. There's our 4 different versions and a little bit of information about each one. I hope you learned something. If you have more questions, please ask me. Ask on this video, ask on my blog, on any of the social media sites. I would love to help. I'd love to, you know, give you some more tips and maybe something I didn't think of. Anyway, again, I'm super grateful for everyone that watches or takes the time or comments or poses a question or anything. And look at these awesome inky hands. Okay, have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for watching my video and for hanging out, and I'll see you next week.